Gavin Holohan starts, but there is a new midfielder on the bench, Chris Cooper, and comes in for a debut from the bench.
Yes, indeed. Callum Ainley has just signed from Crewe Alexandra, has been released by them, so he's a free agent, so it could happen outside of the transfer window. 25 years old, vastly experienced, both League One and League Two. He got promoted with Crewe a few years back from League Two to League One. He's made over, nearly 300 appearances, including some as sub. Can play wide, it can play as a number 10, so it's more attacking options, and that's the kind of thing that you really want, Gary, at any stage of the season, being able to bring somebody in like him. When I heard that he'd signed, I was actually surprised. I didn't realise that he was being made available, and I thought he would be staying at a League One club. Callum Ainley, who's come from Crewe. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, right, sorry. Callum Ainley from Crewe. You know, I think it's a bit of a coup as the players and the officials come out. I think it's a bit of a coup that Grimsby have been able to sign him.
Do you want me to jump in at this point?
Yes. I literally, my microphone's getting so much feedback. I'm sorry about that. Obviously, any addition to the squad at this stage, considering the amount of players we've brought in, it must be an important signing, and it's a real coup for us. Obviously, he's not starting at the moment, but it's good to have him in the squad. For me, seeing the return of Gavin Holohan consistently back into the side has been one of the biggest sort of returns that I wanted to see. He plays really well with Conte, and we've got a nice return to form as well for Harry Clifton as well. He looks like he's got his energy back as well, and that midfield really looks like it needs to support that attack. Danny Rose, for me, hasn't really kicked in yet, hasn't really found his form, spends a lot of time on the ground, but the manager clearly thinks a lot of him, making him captain and consistently playing him, so we'll see how that one pans out. Abu Issa, he's been the main man, hasn't he? He's got his shooting boots on. I was just looking to see top scorers in the league, to be fair, and he's got to be up there, hasn't he? So far, I think he's got about 4 already, top goal scorers on 7. It's good to see that we've got a scorer appearing on that register. I think it's going to be important if we're going to make progress this year. The defence looks like it's got it right, only conceded 5 goals this season so far. That, for me, is a huge thing. It's typical of a Poylehurst team, very solid at the back. Bradford also look quite solid at the back, so I expect this to be probably a game of not so many goals, to be honest. I think that's the way I kind of see this one. Town looking like a bit of a possession side as time goes on, as the season's developing, which I like to see, and then hopefully striking up front with them midfield runners.
I think as far as Bradford City are concerned, they've got a bit of a striker crisis, so it's maybe a good time to be playing them. Matt Derbyshire coming back in at the age of 93, well, 37 actually, but since he left English football prior to coming to Bradford in 2016 when he was at Rotherham, he's played in Cyprus, Australia and India. I bet today is as hot as any of the days he's had out in any of those three countries. But when you see someone like him still playing, you're not tempted.
Well, absolutely. I'll get my boots back on if I want for the dodgy knees. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously kept himself right. Mark Hughes played till quite an age himself, so yeah, he'll have confidence in players like that, and you get so much experience from players like that. If he's got the legs in midfield and all around him, it can be a key sort of player. Obviously, Cook was the main man, wasn't he, last year? He was absolutely on fire. Scored against Town in this game, I think twice, and it'll be a big miss for them, but yeah, it's a good opportunity for Town to try and get a win. We need that first away. Is it the first away win of the season? Oh no, am I wrong? It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and Bradford obviously doing quite well. Good time to play. We've got a van on the pitch there. What's all that about? Is that the match ball?
That's bringing the match ball on. It's a little. It looks almost like a VW caravan, doesn't it? I'm trying to think what it is.
JCT.
It's sponsored by one of the local garages, but it's brilliant. It's a Ford Transit van, I think. But it's a little toy remote radio control one. Brilliant. So
fantastic atmosphere, isn't it? Look at that brilliant. Now.
Absolutely superb. 20,000 in at Valley Parade. We're on all frequencies, but we're not online. Chris Cooper and Gary Croft, your eyes and ears at Valley Parade for Bradford City against Grimsby Town. About to get underway. It is 15th against 12th, and it's the Mariners who get things underway, kicking from right to left to attacking the Kop end in this first half. So Bradford must have won the toss, and Bradford have immediately got the ball back, and Kieran Kelly plays it back to the goalkeeper, and Grimsby almost win it back on the edge of the centre circle, but Bradford able to try to play it out and play it down the right hand side, but it's out of play for a throw from Richie Smallwood, and the throw will be taken on the left hand side by Danny Amos. Just to recap on the sides, Grimsby unchanged then from last week against Gillingham. Eastwood in goal, and Malarkey, Rogers, Maher, Amos, Conte, Ganoa, Holohan, Clifton, Issa on his former club, and Rose. And Callum Ainley, the new signing from Crewe, is on the bench, and the ball has gone all the way back to Jake Eastwood, who bowls it out overarm to the right-hand side. Good to see that Grimsby wearing the traditional black and white stripes against the Bradford City Claret and Amber. No clash at all. Ball in from the right-hand side, and it's cut out on the edge of the area by Sam Stubbs for City, but it'll come back to Abo Issa just outside the area. A few boos from the Kop directed towards him. He did nothing wrong when he was here, apart from get injured, which was hardly his fault, and he's having a real purple patch of it now in the colours of Grimsby Town. They've got the ball back inside their own half. It's played square over to the left-hand side for Danny Amos. Amos back inside to Maher, still inside his own half. Conte gets a touch back to Maher, squared again to the right for Rogers, still just shy of halfway down the right-hand side, but plays it out of touch. See straight away both sides are trying to play some nice football, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tom seemed to have the space at the back to knock it around, winning some decent possession up top. Bradford, nice short passes, a couple of missed straight forward passes though that have gone out, just allowed Town to dominate the early proceedings, but nothing of note really so far.
2 minutes gone. It's Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 0 on BBC Radio Humberside, and Conte brings the ball away and into the centre of the field inside Grimsby's half. Hit forward down the left by Maher, chasing after it goes Harry Clifton. Will he get there? No, he won't quite get there. It's gone out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. It's a strong chase on there, together with one of the centre halves, Sam Stubbs, for Bradford. And it's going to be a first touch for Harry Lewis, the Bradford City goalkeeper, who was tipped for a move to Barnsley in the summer. Big money move, but then for some reason that didn't happen. Bathed in sunshine is Valley Parade at the moment. The only people not in the sun are the Grimsby Town supporters behind the goal to our right-hand side, because the sun is immediately behind them and the back of the stand is blocking it out. The ball's headed on by Halliday for Bradford inside Grimsby's half. It's cleared away though. Malarkey's got it away. Abo Issa battling away together with Halliday. Halliday got it forward. It's come back towards the halfway line though. Danny Amos is there, and Danny Rose wins a free kick right on halfway, midway between the touchline and the centre circle. And who's going to take it? Everybody's walked away from it. Now Danny Amos has come over. He's going to be the one to take it. And just joining us on BBC Radio Humberside, an unchanged Grimsby Town side. Callum Ainley, the new signing announced this morning, he is on the bench. Amos then with the free kick, left-footed, diagonally into the area. It's cleared away there by Stubbs. Comes out only as far as Conte, just on the edge of the centre circle. Out to the right for Ganoa, trying to get it forward. They have got it forward, and once again it's Ganoa, edge of the area, shoots, and it's turned away by the keeper. It's gone out of play though for the corner, I think. Has it? No, it's a goal kick, because it was kept in play from the save from Harry Lewis, and then the follow-up went over the line for a goal kick. But what a chance that was, and Mark Hughes is out of his seat, furious with the defending there, shaking his head.
Yeah, Town seemed to be dominating the position. Conte picking everything up and just picking out a few passes. Opened up there, didn't it, for Conte, and he just pulled the trigger. I thought the keeper was a bit slowed down, to be fair, when he palmed it to the side, but looked like a relatively comfortable save that it made look a little bit more difficult than it was.
I think when they're low down like that from distance, they always look more spectacular when they are turned away, don't they? Bradford's turn to try to attack down the right-hand side. Bobby Poynton can't quite get there, making his full debut. 19-year-old Bradford City fan, former Kop season ticket holder. Plays wide, can play left or right. He's on the right today with Jamie Walker on the left-hand side. Throw into Grimsby Town, 10 yards from the corner flag. By the time he's run up to take it, he's 20 yards from the corner flag. Let's come back towards Conte, and Conte in his orange boots plays it back towards the edge of the area, and Harvey Rogers rolls it out to the right-hand side for Malarkey. Malarkey up over halfway, threads it along the ground. Oh, and that's going to be a yellow card, I think, first of the afternoon. Is it for the Bradford City player who's just taken him out? No, Stubbs, I think it was. Well, he was running through there down the right-hand side, Ganoa, and he was just taken out. The referee has just given the free kick and nothing more than that. But a free kick in a dangerous position, wide on the right-hand side, Gary Croft.
Yeah, it's unlucky really. Holohan got the ball in front of him, but kicked it straight out of play. Just unfortunately tempted the player in to bring him down. It's an early yellow card, but needs some quality time from this position.
Free kick then, wide on the right, which is about a yard in from the touchline. Conte with it, it's headed away from the penalty spot, comes back to the centre circle for Grimsby to build again. Bradford with everybody back behind the ball and all the outfield players inside the Bradford half at the moment. It's a good start this by Grimsby Town. Nice cross in from the left-hand side, cleared away though. It was a decent ball in from Malarkey, and Bradford get it back, then turn it forward, but Grimsby immediately have it again inside the centre circle. It's a really positive start that Paul Hurst will be pleased about with this. They've had a couple of, or one shot on goal which was saved, and the follow-up was wide, but they're asking the questions at the moment, and Jake Eastwood has only had one touch of the ball so far, and that was just collecting it to release it. We've been playing some 6.5 minutes, gone quickly, and Bradford are going to get a free kick now. Brad Halliday has gone down. Abo Issa, the former Bradford City player, has taken him down. He's caught him just above the ankle. He's gone to apologise, but the referee, Sam Perkis, is going to have words with him, and he's going to have to book him as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was unlucky really. Again, he was just got tempted in. It was a bad touch out here on the right-hand side by Halliday. Issa's tempted in to try and win it. Didn't really stick a boot. I didn't do too much, but as the player passes it, he inadvertently sort of more like kicks at Issa, and Issa doesn't really stick his foot out and do much wrong. But after giving the other yellow card, he has to give that one.
Well, teammates a year ago, and now on opposite sides, and it's a free kick to Bradford. Halliday is okay. He's fit to carry on. Grimsby with everybody back inside their own half. Matty Platt takes the free kick diagonally over to the left-hand side of the area. Jamie Walker will collect it midway inside the Grimsby half. Has to play it back, though, towards halfway. And they'll try to build again. Played up over the top. No offside there against Matt Derbyshire, but not maybe as quick as they used to be. Gary Croft, it ran away and has gone out of play.
It was a bit of a worrying one though, actually. All the Town players stood up and you wasn't sure if he was offside or not. It was just overhit, only slightly really, but the linesman kept his flag down. You wondered whether it was going to be one of them that he lifts up right at the death, but it's a bit of a worry that Town standing up and holding the high line. I haven't seen them do that. They normally chase the runners in.
It's one of those that from here it certainly looked like it had to be yards offside, but then when you see the replays back, sometimes they're actually not, are they, when players are running in opposite directions. 0-0 still. Jake Eastwood with the goal kick down the left-hand side. And Conte heads it on, trying to win it back again is Holohan, and is through towards the edge of the area, but Bradford get men back to defend, and Matty Platt turns it to the keeper, who hoists it high up over halfway. Headed square by Marr, and down the right-hand side goes Malarkey. Back into their own half for Rogers. Quite content to knock it around at the moment with Conte. Rogers exchanges another pass. Rogers just outside the centre circle. Now comes up and over halfway, looking for options. Has to go back behind him. Conte had filled in for him at centre half. Intelligent play that by Kamel Conte. And now wide down the right-hand side. They try to push on. Ganoa was over there. Holohan was over there. It's again with Malarkey. Threaded forward into the area. Now what can Grimsby do here? Can they keep it in play? They're desperately trying to. Danny Rose is up there, but Bradford have got it back again inside their own half, over by their left-hand side of the penalty area, and away by Sam Stubbs. Up over halfway, it'll drift out of play, and it's going to be a throw into Grimsby Town. 10 minutes gone. I think Paul Hurst will be pretty happy with the way they've started, won't he?
Yeah, I think he'd be delighted. Yeah, it's exactly how he wants to play. They're just keeping it, and then probing. Some real good, intelligent forward runs by the two midfield too as well. Clifton nearly getting in there, just biding the time, retaining possession. They look like they're in control of the game at the moment.
It remains 0-0. And Amos plays the ball back to Jake Eastwood, who's been a virtual spectator so far, to our right-hand side. The Mariners fans in fine voices away to our right, and some in the stand opposite us as well. First time this season. It's only the third home game, mind you, in the league. First time this season that the stand to our right-hand side, which anybody who's been here will be familiar with. It's the smallest of the four stands by some distance behind that goal. Hoisted high by Jake Eastwood. It's headed out of play. It'll be a Grimsby throw, left-hand side. And it'll be taken by Danny Amos, just in front of the Grimsby Town dugout. Paul Hurst, shirt sleeve, as everybody is today. Throw goes down the line. It's away by Halliday, showing no ill effects of that challenge from earlier from Abu Issa, for which he was booked. And Bradford knocking it around rather unconvincingly inside their own half, and they do eventually release it to Richards on the left-hand flank. Richards just short of halfway, plays it short inside towards Richie Smallwood. Smallwood, lovely diagonal ball down the right, just got a little bit too much of it though for Brad Halliday, who puts his arm and thumb up to acknowledge the pass. That was almost like Glenn Hoddle-esque, wasn't it? Because it was, people talk about long passes, but there was purpose and precision with that. He just couldn't quite get there in time.
Yeah, it's the first time one of the midfielders opened himself up, and seeing the run from Halliday there, he just wasn't quite Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle would have put backspin on that. I would have landed on a sixpence, but it was a good effort.
Grimsby coming forward now. We've been playing 11.5 minutes, still 0-0. Abu Issa trying to get the better down the left-hand side of Sam Stubbs. He's had quite a career. Sam Stubbs came here from Exeter last season, so he was here at the same time as Abu Issa. And Grimsby have another throw midway inside their own half. Again, it's going to be Amos, the left back, to take it. Down the line it goes. It's headed by Platt in field for Bradford, and Rose actually ended up off the field. He was sort of knocked out of play there, but he's all right. It's another throw to Grimsby, which again will be taken by Amos. Again, left-hand side, this time midway inside the Bradford City half, away to our left-hand side, with Grimsby attacking from right to left as we look in the first half, and that throw has just drifted aimlessly behind for a goal kick. So 0-0. It's 15th against 12th. Bradford starting the day with 8 points. Grimsby a point ahead. If they could win here today, it would be history making. The first time in a generation. The last win here was March 1997. Where were you in March 1997?
No, I would have been at Blackburn.
Right. Probably Matt Derbyshire was at Blackburn then as well.
No, I don't think he was then, actually, no.
He's
around about there, wasn't it?
He's 37 years old. He's from that area, isn't he? From Great Harwood, near Blackburn, and started there as a youngster. Here comes Amos again, left-hand side. Plays the ball infield to Marr. Nudged it forward for Camille Conte again. And then Issa bundled over by Halliday. There's a good little duel going on between the two of them. Mark Hughes demonstrating to the referee that he thought that it was a free kick the other way. And a little bit of remonstration from, I think that's Peter Nicholas from the Bradford City backroom staff towards the fourth official. And Marr plays the ball forward towards Conte, still inside their own half. Still the sun continues to beat down. There's a little bit of cloud away to our right-hand side as well, but mainly blue skies on a beautiful September morning. It's more like a July day in Spain. Down the right-hand side come Grimsby down. Far side of the field. Trying to work their way into the area, but they're having to go backwards with Conte just outside the area, and they might have to go all the way back into their own half here. Bradford putting everybody back behind the ball there. This is Rogers, squares it to Marr in the centre circle, and wide out to Amos on the left-hand side. No route down the right, so they'll try down the left. And Bradford trying to press them and keep them back inside their own half, and they're doing that successfully at the moment. Bradford with everybody back behind the ball. Now Conte plays it wide out to the right-hand side. What can they do from there? Can they get a cross in? No free kick, which they wanted there after a challenge from Richards. Referee said no, and Grimsby start once again. When they do lose the ball, they get it back pretty quickly, don't they? That's a feature of the play. Amos, left-hand side, just up over halfway to Issa. Sends it straight back to him, flicks it forward, and that should be Stubbs's to clear. And it is up over halfway. Too high for Matt Derbyshire, who's only 5'10", and ball's just pinging around just down in front of the dugouts. There's one back again by Kamil Conte for Grimsby Town, almost on the centre spot to the left-hand side, finds Harry Clifton. Clifton nudged it forward, and now it's come back into the path of Marr inside his own half. They're not really going anywhere at the moment. Neither side actually making much progress into the penalty areas, but Grimsby dominating possession without really hurting Bradford City at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're keeping the ball really well and recycling it well, and then winning it back well. Everything about it's good. We just look a bit blunt up front at the moment.
0-0. Maybe a ball in from the right-hand side can show some promise. It's back to Conte in midfield. Rolls square towards Amos, out towards Abu Issa. Left-hand side, he does like cutting in on his right foot, but Halliday gets the better of him there to the cheers from the crowd. And Halliday tries to come forward, and he's taken out there by Amos, and it's just a free kick, nothing more. And
it's just a trip, isn't it? Halliday did well coming out of that, defended that well, didn't he? And then did well to take on Amos and get past him, but Amos then he just stuck out a leg. They want a yellow card for everything now, don't they? Because that's the way the game started.
But Halliday sort of looked up and thought, there's no one up ahead of me, what do I do? I've got no support. Now Bradford pushed forward down the left-hand side. Walker is over there, but the ball is put into touch by Roger on the right-hand side, which is Bradford's left, right in front of two sections of the stand on the far side, which are occupied by the Mariners supporters. Walker gets it back again, left-hand side, driven in towards Derbyshire. Cut out, though. Is it going to go out of play? No, it's just kept in, and Jamie Walker tried to retrieve it for Bradford, but he's knocked it over the line, and that's going to be a goal kick. 17 minutes gone on BBC Radio Humberside. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 0. First of two commentaries today. We've got Scunthorpe against Buxton from the National League North, coming on from 3 o'clock this afternoon. Don't forget the football forum after 5 o'clock. The Grimsby Town fans should be home by then, just as the Ukraine-England game is getting underway. 0-0 with a third of the way through the first half, and Jake Eastwood with the ball at his feet, and he's going to take the goal kick from the left-hand side of his goal. He's taking his time over this, isn't he? No doubt time will get added on for that. I'm not saying his time wasted at all, it's just he's taking his time over it, and now he sends it forward up over halfway. Stubbs gets underneath it, heads it down, and that's out of play for a Grimsby throw just on halfway, which Amos will take. Left-hand side, right in front of the fourth official, right in front of the Grimsby Town dugout, and throws it forward, and it's headed away again by Bradford, and Conte will win it back, and leaves one City player on his back, and one almost going over as the ball comes down the right-hand side with Grimsby for Ganoa to try to tease a way in. What can they do from the right-hand side of the area now? That's where they've tried to get most of their attacks going from, apart from when Abu Issa has been involved. Abu Issa does like to cut in from the left-hand side onto his right foot, but most of the attacks so far have come down the right. This is Marr again, inside his own half. Plays the ball over the centre circle towards Rogers, who can't see anything forward, and so back it goes to Eastwood. Forward to Rose. I have to say, Gary Croft, that when you look at these two teams out here, you would think that Grimsby actually look like the home team, the way that they've been dominating the possession. Bradford have got it back now, just inside their own half. This is Kieran Kelly out to Halliday, right-hand side. He's got one runner in front of him, but Derbyshire nowhere near it, and also nowhere near it was Bobby Poynton, and all the way back it goes to Harry Lewis. Both sides are quite content actually to go backwards to go forwards. I don't think the heat is really having a part to play in this game, because it's not been played at 100 miles an hour, but it's not been full of stoppages, and it's not as if when there has been a free kick everybody's been coming over and getting some water on board. Hit forward by Richie Smallwood, another great pass down the left-hand side this time. Keeper's come out of his area, knocked it away, but did he handle it outside the area or inside? The referee says he handled it inside.
Well, Maluki got caught out there, didn't he, going forward, and the run was in behind him. I think he came off the side of the player's foot as he played it, and it went inside him. Luckily for him, the keeper was aware, just tapped it out of the box with his hand and didn't handball it outside.
Bradford City trying to put some more pressure on. His ball is dinked over to the right, and then Walker lobs it. I was hoping it was going to drop over the goalkeeper, but it's gone over the bar as well, and it's going to be a goal kick. That's the first moment of worry, really, after 20 minutes. That
he got caught going forward, didn't he, Malarkey? He was going forward to his man, and the ball went inside him, and it's a couple of times, a couple of through balls between Malarkey and the right centre half there that I've had little nervous moments about. But it's Town generally dominating the ball, isn't it? They're doing really well, actually, in terms of conserving energy. They're doing most of the work with the ball, and that'll tell later in the goal. We've got about 63% possession. I think Town so far look like the home team, but not really getting at them, are they, in and around the box?
I tell you what, your assessment of the game is brilliant. I've just checked on an app, and it is 63%.
I may have had a sneak, you never know. I just thought they would do, and that's the way they've been playing. It's the way they've been moving to this season, more of a possession game. But it just worries me that they're down the right, they're across the middle, they're down the left, and they're coming back out, and there's not enough of a threat through the centre, really, through Rose. Rose can't find that space in there. It's so congested in that centre.
0-0 it remains. We're approaching the halfway stage of the first half. 21 minutes gone, and the only attempt on goal so far was from Harry Clifton, which was turned away by the goalkeeper. This is Halliday, put under pressure by former teammate Abo Issa, so he plays it back into his own half, and Platt tries to get it forward. It's come back to Platt again, trapped inside their own half there, and when they do get it out, it's collected by Danny Amos, who plays it infield towards Conte. Marr, Rogers, right-hand side, coming up towards halfway, looks up. A Richie Smallwood-esque pass, but that one goes out of play for a throw. He was looking down the line for Abo Issa. It sailed out of play over his head into the main stand. Grimsby attacking the packed Cop End, or near packed Cop End, in this first half. Crowd, I think it's probably around about 20-odd thousand or so. Over 2,000 Grimsby Town supporters have made the trek over, and should be back in time to see the England game tonight as well. 0-0. Throw to Bradford City inside their own half, and will be taken by Kelly. And 1,704 away fans, I'm told. They were given 2,700 tickets. People were able to pay on the day, and I suspect that a day out of the football on a day like this was a big
Sky, isn't it? Speaking to Steve Ray, Sky's had an effect, unfortunately, on the attendance.
Yeah, it will do. I was trying not to mention that.
Oh, sorry.
This is Danny Amos. Amos playing it back into his own half. Marr and Rogers. Almost a little bit short, but Derbyshire nowhere near getting to it. Eastwood clears it up over halfway. Headed powerfully forward by Stubbs, who was the spitting image of his old man. That's offside. And free kick to Grimsby Town, midway inside their own half. And Rogers looks across to the assistant on this side. I think he wanted a flag earlier for a free kick or something, but it was just an offside. And it's with Amos. Plays it over the centre circle, over to the right-hand side, and cut out by Holohan and brought forward. Right-hand side. Smallwood trying to square up to Grimsby to press them, to force them back, which is exactly what he's done. They've gone back into their own half. It's with Roger again. Right-hand side, Malarkey, what can he do? Plays it forward, and won back for City by Kieran Kelly, who, like Abo Issa, was booked in the opening 7 minutes of the game. And Bradford knocking it around inside their own half. The fans, I think, are getting a little bit impatient. They want to see it played up over halfway, which is what it is now, but they've just gone and lost possession. And here's Abo Issa, left-hand side. Now what can he do? Can he get past the mountain of Matty Platt? He can do. He's got the cross in, but they've already gone out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Grimsby Town, left-hand side, and with the multi-ball system, they can take this fairly quickly once the other one's off the field, which it is now. And Amos takes it, throws it to Issa, gets it back, swings it into the middle. It's cleared away, though, by Bradford. Derbyshire, lovely flick, and Bradford are away down their right-hand side. Now it's with Jamie Walker. Jamie Walker outside the area, cuts into the area, is onto his left foot, he tries to curl one, and there was virtually no curl on that whatsoever. He had no one really up in support. He was going for glory. Grimsby Town defenders getting back in numbers. He really had no other option, I think, other than that, but he was way off target after what had been a very, very promising move for Bradford, which had actually come from Grimsby's throw-in.
Absolutely, yeah, they lost it. It's lovely touch by Derbyshire. I don't know, the drinks break or something at the moment. This was unusual. Must have, it's halfway through the half, isn't it?
I will as well. Keep talking.
But yeah, lovely touch by Derbyshire to lay in Walker down on this side. But when Walker looked up, he was no one in the box. You could see Derbyshire chasing, trying to get in, and he sat down Abuisa, had chased back very well actually. Sat him down a tree. He was still sliding out the stand, I think, but his left foot curler way off target and over the bar. But we need to see. I think Town would prefer actually Bradford threw a few more bodies forward, because it'll make more of a game of it. There's no room in and around that box for Town at the moment, and it'd be a much more exciting game if we saw a little bit more of that. I think it's been a very cautious start by Bradford, but at the same token, I think the pressure from the Grimsby side has been superb in midfield. They're not giving him any time to get any quality balls forward into Derbyshire. He's not that mobile as we've seen, and it's just breaking down. But when Town have got it, Bradford are very organised and very defensive, and I think Bradford have only conceded 6 goals this year as well, I think. So, you know, it's that type of game at the moment. Nothing's really given.
Managers love drinks breaks, not because they're getting water on, but they get an extra couple of minutes with the players, don't they?
It's a time-out, yeah.
Both Mark Hughes and Paul Hurst quite animated talking to the players. Mark Hughes was deep in conversation a moment ago with Matt Derbyshire, and Paul Hurst has been talking to Abuisa and Gavin Holohan as well. It remains 0-0, not for the want of trying. It's not that the goals have been peppered, because they certainly haven't been, but there's been promise, but nothing more than promise really so far. And I think if you were marking it out of 10, I think you'd probably be saying it's a 6 out of 10 game so far.
It's more of a game of chess at the moment. It's been just manoeuvring each other around, being very cautious in possession. No one's really throwing too many bodies forward, and when it does happen, when there is a bit of a break, then we start to see the action when people do take a chance, and that'll happen more as the game goes on. I think at the moment it's just a bit hot. Everyone's just sussing out if they're going to last the game, where the flow of the game is and things like that. And I think this game will certainly heat up. Bradford will want to get their home record going, and Town obviously need that first away win too.
Tell you what, you know, with these drinks breaks, TV companies will love them as well if they can get them formalised, because then they'll get another ad break in them as well, won't they? Unless it's the BBC, of course. 0-0 it is on BBC Radio Humberside between Bradford City and Grimsby Town. Grimsby looking for their first win here since March 1997. If I were to say to you, Mendonca, Roger and Livingston got 3 of the goals that day, would you know who got the 4th one?
In a win here? Gilbert?
No.
Childs?
No.
Could go through the list then.
No, you could go through the list and you wouldn't get it, because it was actually a Nicky Moen own goal. It was a trick question.
There we go, then.
Which was the second goal, but it was
a trick question.
It was Steve Livingston who got the winner of 4-3 win that in the old Division 1, which was the championship as it is now. Both these sides are way away from that as things stand at the moment. Ganoa wanting to send the ball in from the right-hand side. It's knocked down inside the 6-yard box and cleared away by Bradford. So it'll be met by Mayer just outside the centre circle. He gives it to Roger the other side of that. Then Malarkey. Nice little 1-2. Malarkey, edge of the box, then runs into a little bit of trouble in the form of McDonald. But they get it back again to Grimsby, just inside the area. Might roll out down the right-hand side for a cross. No, it won't. It's cleared by Kieran Kelly. And into touch over on the far side for a throw into Grimsby.
It's more controlled, though, isn't it, when Town attack? You know, they're trying to work positions. I feel like Bradford, like you said, like they're a away team, aren't they? Just breaking. And Town are trying to work things.
Well, they've had 2 breaks, haven't they, Bradford, neither of which have come off for them. Grimsby had that one effort early on in the game that was saved by Harry Lewis, but other than that, there's been some neat approach play in between the 2 penalty areas, but little actually inside the boxes. Maybe a long throw in now from the right-hand side from Grimsby. 29 minutes gone, although in this day and age that might actually only be 25 minutes, mightn't it, with the drinks break and stoppages. Throw-in is taken. Bradford trying to get it away through Lewis Richards. He does, but it's only onto the head of Conte. Grimsby over in the far right-hand corner, trying to win it back, and have done with Ganoa, who's over there. Now, can he get the ball into the box? There's half a chance. Ganoa again, but it's cleared away once more by Bradford and whacked forward by Matt Derbyshire. And that'll tell you there's no one up there to get onto the end of that, by the fact that it was him that whacked it away from inside his own half, deep inside his own half. Throw-in quickly taken by Roger to the goalkeeper Eastwood, and Amos will start down the left-hand side, up over halfway. Flicks it forward, but nobody had read that one at all. The goalkeeper was able to pick that up because although Alan Stubbs knocked it back to him, he slipped over where he was trying to do so. And I thought for a moment Alan Stubbs had pulled something there, but just his sock tie had come undone. 0-0. And I think a few frustrations, certainly among the home supporters, which Grimsby will welcome, because if you get the home fans, I wouldn't say quiet, because they're usually pretty noisy here, especially when you've got a drum and various other instruments, but they're certainly getting the home crowd frustrated a little bit. And on the right-hand side, Malarkey has it and plays it down the line for Ganoa. It's out of play for a throw to Bradford. 0-0, just past the half-hour mark. Back from Kevin MacDonald, back to Kelly. Kelly forward, away by Roger with his head. Ganoa collects again and has eased off the ball, but in fact he was the one doing the fouling. And then a free kick is actually given to Grimsby Town. Midway between the centre circle and the touchline, maybe closer to the centre circle, and they take it short and quickly. And the play at the moment has gone down to almost to a walking pace. It's almost testimonial level at the moment.
That's right, yeah. It must be really warm out there. Town doing the better job of keeping the ball. First on second balls as well. Really frustrating the home fans. I think there's some recognition from the home fans that Town aren't a bad side, but I don't think they'll put up with this through the whole game.
Well, it's
a bad touch by Malarkey there, isn't it? And this, was it the right centre half? Ended up with him sliding in with his studs up, and I think he's going to get a yellow card for that.
He's going to get a yellow card. It's going to be the third yellow card of the game. It's Kelly early on, then Issa, and now Malarkey.
Rogers actually.
Rocks.
It was Rogers. Rogers advancing, yeah. He just kind of had a big second touch, didn't he? And ended up sliding into it, but he had his studs up, and the players took full force of that, I think.
He's okay. I think it was Richards, wasn't it? He's all right. Yellow card is shown. Third of the game. Referee, by the way, Sam Purkis, he refereed the 5-0 in January down at Swindon. And he sent off Danny Amos that day, so he'll be wanting to stay away from it. I don't know whether players recognise referees.
Probably not.
They don't have the profile of the Premier League referees, do they? But whether Danny Amos would recognise him as the one who sent him off at Swindon, I don't know. Eastwood with the ball at his feet. The free kick from Bradford came to absolutely nothing, just like that goal kick. That's just sailed straight out of play, and he apologises for that. Halliday will take the throw-in alongside Paul Hurst, and coaching staff from Grimsby Town just trying to get a little bit more out of Grimsby at the moment, but they've been the better side for the most part, and they've dominated possession, but with no end product to show for it. And what can they do from this attack? Nothing really. It's come back into Bradford's half. We've got the ball as well with Stubbs. He gives it to Platt, back to Stubbs again. Stubbs, little Cruyff-esque turn around from Rose, and all he does with it is then play it back to his own goalkeeper Lewis, who's inside the D. Gives it to Stubbs. Stubbs to Platt on the right, Platt forwards. Rogers heads it away for Grimsby. Flick forward and up towards Avoisa. Platt shrugs him off and gets things going for Bradford City. Down the right-hand side now is Halliday. He's just got it from Derbyshire. He's got support on the outside from Walker. And Walker's taken out there by Danny Amos, and now Danny Amos will recognise the referee as the one who sent him off at Swindon, because he's going to get a yellow card. He can't argue with that. He's just stuck out a leg. Jamie Walker's gone flying over it.
That's poor that. It was just not by the referee, but by Amos. He should have got in there full force. There was a poor ball out by Halliday. Once the overlock came past him, he sold him short a bit. But as sort of Amos sort of came in to block it, he got migged by Walker. He just tapped it through his legs and brought him down. A clear yellow card.
Well, 2 of Grimsby's back 4 now on a yellow card. I'm sure that's something that Mark Hughes is going to be talking about at half-time. You know, you don't necessarily want to see players get sent off, but you put them under pressure, don't you? You try to make them make mistakes. Free kick then to Bradford. In between, this would be almost like a short corner if it were hockey. Jamie Walker has got up. He's standing over it. So too is Bobby Poynton, the 19-year-old debutant.
You'd be thinking this is coming in left-footed, wouldn't you, at pace?
It's either going to be the right foot of Walker or the left foot of Poynton. pays your money, you takes your choices, one of my history teachers used to say to me. There's a two-man wall. Grimsby have got 9 players back inside the penalty area. It is Poynton who takes it over towards the far post, and it's headed away by Rogers. Can Bradford keep it alive? McDonald is over there. Will try to turn it back in from down by the corner flag, or at least win a corner. He's got a throw in right down by the corner flag. With 10 minutes to go to half-time, plus lots of stoppage time, including a 2-minute or so water break, which was clearly scheduled given the conditions here today. It is clouding over a little bit, but it's still very, very warm. But the cloud is just in front of the sun a little bit away to our right-hand side, and as the afternoon goes on, the match progresses, it will go behind us as well. In comes the throw from the left-hand side for Bradford. Grimsby deal with it. They've got it clear. Richards will try to collect, and it's played back towards Kelly. Smallwood flicks it long up over halfway. Poynton, can he get to it? Yes, he will do. He's quick as the lad. He stopped it going out of play for the goal kick. Pulls it back to the corner of the penalty area, and Richards will try to swing it in. Lewis Richards plays it further back though towards Kelly, and he'll try to work away in if he possibly can outside the area. Back again to the left-hand side. Can they get the cross in? Not at the moment, they can't. Grimsby standing up to them well, forcing Bradford to play it back towards halfway. This might go back into their own half. It does. That's good play by Grimsby. Bradford fans again frustrated. Platt plays it forward to Halliday on the halfway line for Bradford City. Infield it goes towards Jamie Walker. Back towards McDonald. McDonald down the right for Derbyshire. Marginal but offside. Flag is up. Fans unhappy. Grimsby relief.
It was very marginal. That was a good line actually by Grimsby. It was intentional. They squeezed up really quite well. First bit of possession was seen by Bradford, but they missed the opportunity on the left, didn't he, when Richards didn't whip it in. There was about 3 or 4 players ready making the run off it being rolled back, and he didn't put it in. And it went all the way back. Real frustration amongst the Bantam fans there.
7 minutes to go to the end of the schedule. 45 minutes. Was that a wasp or a fly? You were flitting away. Was it a wasp or a fly?
Horrible.
Oh, some nasty wasps around at the moment with this late summer that we're having. Ball is going to go out of play for a throw into Bradford right down by the corner flag. It was blocked by Grimsby, by Conte, and ricocheted off him some 30 yards or so. And Bradford fans trying to find some noise in the stands again to encourage the team on. Quite a lot of people already starting to make their way to the bars, etc. for half-time, for rehydration. That's their excuse anyway in this heat, isn't it? Do you fancy a pint of rehydration? That's going to be a free kick, I think, to Grimsby. No, it's not given. I thought it would have been by the referee. A foul, I thought, by Smallwood on Amos, but it's just a throw-in, which will be taken by Halliday on this near side, which is the Bradford City right. We're attacking the city end of the ground. That's the small stand, if you know Valley Parade. And when you see it on the TV, we're on the other side from the main cameras as Grimsby stride forwards with some purpose down the right-hand side, out towards Ganoa. Can't get a cross in. Plenty of players back for Bradford to stop the way in. Can't stop the cross, but they do clear it away comfortably. Halliday getting the head on it, and he's got another touch to it as well now, and Jamie Walker is here. Can he keep that in play? Well, he's just played it out of play off Mar for a throw-in on the halfway line, right-hand side, which Halliday goes to take. Smallwood wants it, gets it. Halliday gets it back, gives it to Walker. Neat ball in field. Neat little intricate play by Bradford, but then in the end they give it away, and Grimsby press forward down the right-hand side. Ganoa. Now, what's he got in the locker here? Can he take on 1? Can he take on 2? Can he take on 3? He's got it forward in towards Danny Rose into the middle, and the keeper palms it away just as Abo Issa was hoping for a tap in. Oh, can you imagine if he'd scored that down at the Kop end?
Absolutely, yeah. It would have been a fantastic goal. Really nicely worked by Town there. Patient play, well intercepted by Malarkey, broke in. Well worked inside by Nahura, and nice run. First time we've really seen Danny Rose getting any of them positions, and it was a great run, great ball back. Keeper just palmed it out. Could have been anyone's, but it got away, unfortunately, for Town.
Thought it was going to be a corner. It's not. It's just a throw-in. Not had a corner in the game yet for Grimsby. In fact, we've not had a corner for either side as yet. Now we've got a goal kick for Bradford. Several players over there have bounced around, and and inevitably went out for the it's not going to be a goal kick, it's going to be a throw into Bradford right down by their corner flag. We're into the final 5.5 minutes of the regulation 45 minutes. So what is a beautiful, bright, warm, sunny afternoon as the throw-in goes down the line from Richards. Comes back towards the edge of the City penalty area. They clear it with some venom all the way up towards the edge of the Grimsby box. And Mayer plays it towards Amos, left-hand side. Left-footed, big boot forward, headed away, only as far as the edge of the area, and then Platt will hook it over his head up towards halfway. Little flick from Derbyshire. Walker going chasing, and it's going out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Grimsby Town. Player has ended up Mayer, isn't it? He's got to his feet now. He's okay. There's a slight runoff there, isn't there, in between the edge of the pitch and the path around it. A little bit of a slope. Still 0-0. If it were a game of throw-ins, there you are, there's a name.
Game of throw-ins,
game of throw-ins, it would have been a belter, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And lows down this side.
I've never watched that. I haven't got a clue what it's all about. Still 0-0. And probably about level on the number of throw-ins as well. 4 minutes plus stoppage time to go to half-time. Harry Lewis kicks out for Bradford City. He was looking for Matt Derbyshire, but Rogers towers above him and heads it forward, and Malarkey on the right-hand side finds Ganoa. This is midfield enforcer Camille Conte, who started off really well. He was prompting and probing quite a bit, wasn't he? Here's Ganoa, edge of the area. Well challenged, though, by Bradford. Platt getting in the challenge. Ball breaks for Amos, back into his own half for Mayer. And we're getting towards that time where people say it would be psychologically important to score just before half-time. In my mind, you were the professional, Gary, but there is no such thing as a bad time to score a goal, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unless you're the away team at Old Trafford and you score after 2 minutes, and then you end up losing 5-1 rather than 5-0.
Exactly.
In those days, anyway. Maybe it's different grounds that applies to these days. Just an aimless ball forward from Bradford, which is collected by Jake Eastwood. He had to wait for it to arrive. Gives it to Mayer, gets it back, plays it over the head of Jamie Walker, comfortably to Amos, the left back, as the cloud moves away from the sun. And we're in about 27-28 degrees of beautiful Yorkshire sunshine again now. Just need a beach, really, don't we? This is Abu Issa. Plays it back towards Amos, takes one touch, second touch towards the edge of the area for Clifton. Back towards Conte. Conte on halfway is Mayer. To his right-hand side is Rogers. 2.5 minutes to go. Is this going to improve before the half-time whistle, I wonder, as it's headed away by Halliday, only as far as Amos. Amos squares it across the box, and Ganoa's brought it down well. Now, can he twist-turn past Richards? Ball comes in from the right-hand side. Simple header, goal, 1-0. Grimsby Town right on the stroke of half-time. Danny Rose putting Grimsby Town in front. He couldn't miss from such close range. It's Bradford City 0, Grimsby 1.
Well, he couldn't miss because of the quality of the ball from Malarkey, but what a fantastic goal that was. Well worked down the left. Beautiful switch of play. Looked like it had been overhit, but Madhura brought it down over his shoulder superbly. Thought the attack was going to win. Rolled it back. Malarkey didn't even look up. He knew what border he was going to put on. And Rose, who we haven't seen that much of really, has come into it a little bit towards this period here. Couldn't miss, 2 yards out, but he put it right down in the bottom corner. Really good finish.
Well, there's even more of those Bradford City fans heading for their pint of half-time rehydration now, and the Grimsby fans away to our right-hand side, and on the far side in that corner they are bouncing. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 1. A minute to go to half-time plus stoppage. Danny Rose with the goal right in front of the Cop end. And what's going to be the Bradford response to that?
Well, they were looking jaded, I thought. In the few minutes before that, Town had quite a lot of possession. They looked tired, I thought, Bradford. They just wanted to get in for half-time, so I can't see a surge.
Well, it's you've been a professional, Gary, but I even learned at school it's much easier and less tiring playing football when you've got the ball than when you haven't got,
and that's what Town have done.
Yeah,
they've set off like that from the very start. I think it's not just purposely for this game and the weather. It's how Town have started to play. They've been dominating teams possession-wise. Conte has picked the ball up all day today. He's just in the right place. It looks like a superb signing, but also I think Holohan's been very good at that. The two centre-halves have been good. It's been a fantastic, solid performance across the back eight, and it's been looking for that moment of magic up front, and we got it there from Malarkey in that header.
0-1 as far as the scoreboard is concerned, and we're about to find out how much stoppage time there is going to be added on as the ball is chested down by Bradford's Halliday. 4 minutes is all we're having. Halliday down the right-hand side, flicks it forward, and it's cleared away by Mayer, and that's a little bit of frustration by Platt. He's just bundled over the goal scorer Danny Rose there.
And Mark Hughes is having a go at Rose. Now, I think he's wrong. To be fair, Rose goes down a lot, actually. If you've seen him a few times this season, he feels the touch and he goes down. But that time, he got bulldozer from the back. Mark Hughes isn't having it. He's probably talking about the other times he's maybe gone down, but that time was a foul.
Yeah, just charged into him, didn't he? But
frustration, that. I think Mark Hughes feeling the frustration of the game as well.
One thing I've noticed this season, we're getting on the scoreboards the amount of, not just the stoppage time, because previously they would stop at 45, but now they're actually ticking them over, aren't they? Which is good. Saves you having to start your own watch. Grimsby leading by 1-0. Deservedly so. Make no mistake about that. They've been the better side. They've dominated, and so far Jake Eastwood hasn't had a save to make. So the planning and everything from Grimsby Town so far, meticulous, has been spot on and has worked to an absolute T. And they've got a throw in as well inside their own half. And chance of sacked in the morning, directed towards Mark Hughes. Today his 77th game in charge. Big surprise when he came here, dropping down to this level, and said he wanted to get back into it, and there weren't the offers elsewhere. And I think his wife was quite happy that he was going to be out of the house as well. They do say there's
grumpy Mark Hughes, would you?
Yeah, there's nothing quite as miserable as an outwork football manager waiting for that phone to ring. Danny Amos has gone down and on this near side and is going to get some treatment. As soon as the physio comes on, he gets to his knees. So it's going to add on a little bit more time.
Well, you don't want to talk about it too soon, but it's been a perfect away performance so far, considering everything, really. The conditions, the ferociousness of the fans and the environment, the way they've handled it. They've kept the crowd quiet. They've nullified their attack. They've kept possession. They've threatened. Not enough, I didn't think. I think Danny Rose, not seen enough of him, but as the game's wearing on, I just noticed in the 5 or 6 minutes before that, Danny Rose got in down the side, didn't he? He got another one into feet. He started to find the areas that we want to see him in. And then he just pulls off his man for that goal very cleverly. It was a brilliant ball in by Malarkey, but what made it was the touch, wasn't it? The crossfield ball over to the far side. It's gone over his head. He's just pulled it out of thin air. And a very early laid back, and like we saw with the Bradford guy on the far side, when he did put it in, Richardson took it back. Malarkey didn't change his mind, just ran onto it. Lovely first time cross, and everyone can time the runs. And there you have it, 1-0.
Indeed, 1-0. Perfectly described by former Grimsby player Gary Croft on BBC Radio Humberside. We'll be back with James Hogarth at half-time in a couple of minutes' time. Got a second commentary coming up this afternoon as well. Scunthorpe United against Buxton from National League North. I'm sure James will be keeping across everything else that's happening on the world of sports. And what a day it is, because there's England rugby tonight as well, isn't there? And the England women's cricketers are playing Sri Lanka up at... I was up there yesterday actually doing some interviews, and my word, they're well fired up for that game, having lost the T20 series to them. James will no doubt have a look at the scoreboard. 1-0 Grimsby Town leads. We're in the fourth of 4 minutes to be added on, but there's probably going to be at least another minute or so because of the injury to Danny Amos, who's got to stay off the field for the requisite time, having received some treatment. And Grimsby still pushing forward with just the 10 men at the moment down the right-hand side. Ganoa, what can he do there? He's trying to take on Richie Smallwood, the former Hull City captain, and he's conceded a free kick. and it's down by the left-hand corner flag, and Grimsby back to a full complement of 11 as Danny Amos jogs onto the pitch from the near side. Well, we've had the 4 minutes of stoppage time. There will be a little bit more though because of the stoppage time within stoppage time, and I get the feeling the away dressing room at half-time is going to be a pretty happy place. I don't think Mark Hughes is one for throwing teacups, either metaphorically or literally, but you could understand it if he were to change his mind on that today.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's more frustration really. They just haven't got the game going. He'll be frustrated himself, and I wonder what he's got on the bench to change this, because this needs a total ramp up from him. I think it's going to be difficult for Bradford to sort of get out of this rut. It's all very one pace from them.
Well, one player they've got on there is the new signing from Norwich City, Jonathan Tompkinson, who came online this week, and also Alex Gilead, who's back here. So he can push forward as well from the flanks. Listen to those boos. That tells you that the Mariners are well on top. There's only one goal in it, but they're deservedly in front. Danny Rose header, quite honestly, he couldn't miss. Paul Hurst takes a swig of water from his bottle. He'll get a nice chilled one at half-time, I'm sure. He'll be thinking as he walks off the 50 yards or so down to the right-hand side of the tunnel, what can I say to them? I think he'll probably just say, just try and keep going, and if you can get a second goal, do so, because at 1-0, you're never sure, are you? Because anything can happen. But they've certainly got a big platform, and let's be honest, Bradford have just not threatened.
Yeah, you'd say on the basis of that, Town should come out and finish the job, but you know he's going to get them fired up in there, Mark Hughes, isn't he? But Town are very level-headed. The manager couldn't get any more level-headed if he tried, and he'll just make sure that they come out and play the same way. They'll make them aware of all the changes that could happen. I mean, when players come on and change games and bring new energy, they've got to deal with that. So we'll be putting that all in their mindset and all the different stages of the game now to take this through. But the possession and the way they've approached the game has been absolutely spot on for the type of game it was going to be, the type of game that he wants to play, with the sunshine and everything like that. And nicking the goal at the end, Danny Rose, quite a quiet game in all fairness for me, on the floor a bit too much, but then came into it, and that's all you want your strikers to do, isn't it? Get your goals, and he was there. It was a real good header.
That's a sign of a good striker, isn't it? You know, I know some strikers, managers want them to do more, track back, do this, that, and the other, but they're paid for one thing, and if he's there, right place, right time, bang. You might think it's a simple goal. It was a simple goal, but he was in the right place at the right time, wasn't he? And that's what the good strikers do.
Yeah, it was the move and everything like that, wasn't it? It was the ball in from the right back, got forward well, Nahura's touch. Everything about that goal was real quality, and I'm pleased they got it. They really did deserve that, I think. It would have been Bradford were happy, I thought. They were cruising into half-time, but Town pushed on that just 10 minutes before half-time. It was almost like they wanted it, and they committed more men forward. Started with a few attacks, started making a few more runs, committing players, and they got the rewards.
There you are, James. Cast your mind back to primary school. That's the last time that Grimsby Town won at Bradford City, and they're halfway to doing it again, courtesy of a Danny Rose header on 43 minutes. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 1 at the break.
Yeah, we said, Chris Cooper and Gary Croft, that it was 26 years since Grimsby Town won at Bradford City. I'm just doing that maths. I was indeed at secondary school, and I think I was doing my A-levels, or halfway through A-levels, the last time that Grimsby Town beat Bradford City at Valley Parade. Back for second half commentary with Chris Cooper and Gary Croft on the way very soon. So it is a good afternoon so far in the sunshine in West Yorkshire for Grimsby Town. Danny Rose's goal on 43 minutes, the difference between the Bantams and the Mariners. They lead at half-time by 1-0, cracking 45 minutes, and hopefully a cracking 45 minutes still to come. Other games this afternoon, and Grimsby Town, by the way, the only, as far as I can tell, the only game that's kicked off early. In League One, not many games. Most have fallen victim to international call-ups. So games going ahead: Exeter City against Leyton Orient, also Stevenage against Carlisle. The games involving Fleetwood Town Blackpool, Lincoln City against Oxford United, Reading against Bristol Rovers, and Bolton Wanderers' trip to Shrewsbury Town are all postponed because of international call-ups. Not necessarily the case in League Two. There was a full afternoon of matches once we conclude Grimsby Town at Bradford City. The games that are 3 o'clock kickoffs: Accrington Stanley against Mansfield, AFC Wimbledon against Stockport, Colchester United against Tranmere. It's Crawley Town at home to Newport County, Crewe Alexandra away at Forest Green Rovers, Gillingham welcome Harrogate Town. It's Milton Keynes Dons against Notts County, Salford City versus Walsall, Sutton United go to Swindon, and Wrexham, who've just signed the former Sunderland Marseille striker Stephen Fletcher. They welcome the bottom side Doncaster Rovers in a 3 o'clock kickoff. Because of the England game tonight, which we'll hear from in a moment's time, no tea time games. And in the National League North, remember Grimsby, Scunthorpe United are a point at the top of the table this afternoon. All of these games are 3 o'clock kickoffs. Alfreton welcome Boston United. It's Banbury versus Warrington Town. Bishop Stortford against Darlington. Chester versus Blythe Spartans. Chorley go to Curzon Ashton. Gloucester City take on Farsley Celtic. Kings Lynn Town against Southport. Scarborough Athletic are at home. Decent weather for our game in Scarborough against Brackley Town, as we know. Buxton are the visitors to Glanford Park. We'll hear from our commentator, Ollie Turner, later on the programme. Of course, full-match commentary from 3 of the Iron against Buxton. South Shields versus Rushall Olympic. Spennymoor Town against Hereford. And Peterborough Sports go to Tamworth. We've got second-half commentary to come of Grimsby Town at Bradford City. The Mariners lead by a 1-0. And we've got second-half commentary on the way. Gary Croft is your expert summariser. Alongside of him for commentary at Valley Parade, can they do it for the first time in the best part of 30 years, is Chris Cooper.
March 1997, the last time that Grimsby Town won here by 4-3 in Division 1. That is what is now known as the Championship. The last win over City at home was in October 1998. That was by 2-0. Grimsby Town fans, over the next 45 minutes, they will not have looked at their watches more in a period of 45 minutes other than in the playoff final and the semi-final, I'm sure. But they lead here by 1-0, courtesy of Danny Rose's 43rd minute header, and it's Bradford who get things underway with Richie Smallwood kicking the ball back to his goalkeeper as they attack the goal to our left-hand side, which is the Kop, which is their preferential way of playing. It's amazing how often they do seem to win the toss, and they're on the attack straight away. Halliday sends the ball into the middle. It's cleared away though by Grimsby. I'll go through the lineups in a moment, but suffice to say that the Grimsby side is the same as last week against Gillingham, and Bradford have got the first corner of the game, and we've been playing 25 seconds. They've had a rocket up the rear end at half-time, haven't they?
It seems like it, and got good possession and had one attack and one ball in, and then defended again on the far side, but Nahura, this is not the start Town wanted.
Well, Bradford have made a change at half-time. Alex Gilead, who's also the spell at Scunthorpe United, he's come on, and it's a corner to Bradford on the right-hand side. It's swung in left-footed and it's headed, and it's comfortably caught by Jake Eastwood. It was going to go wide anyway, I think. So the Grimsby lineup is Eastwood in goal, and Malarkey, Rogers, Marr and Amos. Then Conte, Ganoa, Holohan, Clifton, Issa, the former Bradford player, and Rose, the goal scorer, up top. And just wait and see.
Well, I can see Tulloch on the left-hand side, and he was one of the subs. So I'm not sure if it is.
They have made a change then. I didn't hear that announced, so I'll check on that in a moment. Certainly I heard the Bradford one being announced, so I heard that Alex Gilead had come on. So
it looks like Tulloch to me on this left-hand side. Gilead normally plays out here, doesn't it? It's Tulloch that I can see. He's definitely a change. Not sure who's come off.
Meanwhile, a free kick to Grimsby, just up over halfway inside the Bradford half of the field, to the left of centre. And Bradford have got everybody back, and Grimsby have got everybody forward. It's Danny Amos who takes it. It's aimed over to the far side. He's looking there for Rogers, but it's gone behind, and it's going to be a goal kick. Double change for Bradford. Kieran Kelly is off, Alex Gilead is on, and Tulloch has come on in place of Kevin MacDonald. As far as Grimsby are concerned, no changes at all. And ball with the goalkeeper Harry Lewis, who's got it forward up towards Jamie Walker, who's over halfway, and he's bundled over. Free kick. And Bradford have shown more purpose and intent in 2.5 minutes than in 45 minutes, to my mind. And they're in possession now as the attack down the right-hand side. with Alex Gilliard playing the ball back towards Smallwood. But Grimsby have the all-important lead. Danny Rose after 43 minutes. Walker flicks it forward. This is Gilliard. What can he do now? Plays it back, edge of the area. Poynton is there. Comes back towards Smallwood again. Flicked goalwards. Shout for a handball from the Cop. There was nothing doing there, though. It was against Malarkey. It didn't hit his hand. And Bradford win the ball back again on halfway. They're like a different team at the start of the second half.
They've got Poynton outside on the right-hand side. They've got Walker playing into the centre. You've got Gilliard inside left. Tulloch out on the left. It's a complete new formation, and they've been given a right kick-start, and they've had a good start as well, haven't they? Plenty of attacking, plenty of possession. Town just sitting in the holes.
Sam Stubbs coming forward up into the centre circle, and has found Gilliard. Walker's dropped a little bit deeper. Richards comes forward, striding forward. He's got a free kick as well, and Lewis Richards having a few words there together with Malarkey. He's got a free kick, and it's 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline, and Walker is standing over it to take it. Well, listen to the crowd now. That's completely different to the boos that we saw and heard at half-time.
Certainly giving them something to believe in.
So I think they played better in the opening stages of this second half than in the whole of the first half. And Jamie Walker to take the free kick. Wide on the left-hand side, right-footed, curls it. Goalkeeper comes and flaps a little bit, but he's punched it away. Is it going to go out of play for a corner? It is. And that's going to be the second corner of the game for Bradford.
So he could have claimed that, to be fair. He got both hands to it. Instead of the punch, could have caught it and just probably landed in a heap. It might hurt a bit, but he should have caught it. It's a poor free kick from Walker, I thought.
Well, free kick has led to a corner on the right-hand side. And Grimsby have got everybody back inside the penalty area to defend this. We're on all frequencies on BBC Radio Humberside. Mariners leading by a goal to 0. Danny Rose after 43 minutes. A header from Malarkey's cross. In it comes, left-footed, and aimed deep, headed down, and it's going to be another corner. Stubbs' header deflected away. 3 corners at the start of the second half to Bradford City. Down in front of the Cop end, and this one is going to be on the left-hand side, and all the Grimsby players remain inside the area. And Bradford have got 6 players inside the box. Thought about a shorter one then. It's a lower trajectory. It's across the face of the 6-yard box. Richie Smallwood outside the area will collect it and turn it square towards Halliday on the right-hand side. And it's all Bradford so far at the start of the second half. Deep cross in from the left-hand side. Walker can't get his head to it. Headed behind corner number 4 for Bradford City. It's like the Alamo.
Absolutely, yeah. Town defended it quite well there. Malarkey just getting that touch on it there, and Rogers blocking the one before. But it's intense. There's loads of men coming in, and they're a good size, these Bradford City players.
Walker with the corner. Headed up by Mayer. Halliday swings it back in. I think he was going for goal there. It's cleared away. Who's it going to bounce out to? It's going to be collected on halfway by Bradford again and knocked back towards the goalkeeper. Well, the crowd are willing them on now. And
that's poor, though.
Poor from one keeper. It's gone straight through to the other.
It's Halliday. That was. He's had quite a good game as well. Halliday down that right-hand side, hasn't he? He's come off that one a little bit. They just need to settle it down a bit, Town, take a breath. The keeper's taking his time with this. Everyone recovers. It's hot out there.
I don't think the way that Bradford have started the second half will be a surprise to Paul Hurst. He'd have expected a response, wouldn't he?
You just hope that you sort of nullify it early on with a bit of possession, but Town haven't had a look in so far. Bradford been right on the toes.
Or maybe even a second goal. It's 1-0 at the moment. Gilliard playing fairly central at the moment, can play wide, hits it forward, goalkeeper will come, and he volleys it into the stand on the far side. Rather than he could have picked it up, and I think that's what Mayer and Rogers are saying to him.
Yeah, just going to let it come in and bounce, but he wasn't on his toes, was he? Could have commanded his box a bit better there. Goes the ball back to Bradford.
And the throw-in is taken pretty quickly. Stubbs. He's got Richards wide on the left-hand side. Up ahead of him is Tulloch. Tulloch plays it back towards Richards. Richards dragged down there, and it's going to be another free kick to Bradford City.
Conte's hardly missed a thing so far this game, and even he was late there. Bradford really sort of pushing forward now, and he's trying to explain himself to the ref. I don't think the ref's going to book him.
No.
Or is he, actually? Is he? He's having work. He is.
Oh, he is.
Maybe he was a bit late. Conte hasn't missed much so far, but again, it's another Town player on a card.
Well, that's 4 of them booked now. Issa, Rogers and Amos all booked in the first half, and now Conte. And they've got to be so careful now, haven't they, with Bradford with the tails up. Still trailing, mind you. Grimsby Town leading by a goal to nil. Danny Rose after 43 minutes. And Richie Smallwood with a free kick. And his free kicks and set pieces so far this season haven't been that productive. Hope I'm not tempting fate.
Well, they just took Walker off from that one, didn't they, before? So it looks like they can't find a decent taker.
Yeah. Now Smallwood takes it. Doesn't beat the first defender. Headed away. Only as far though as Richards. 30 yards. He looked up. He thought about having a pop then. Smallwood gets it wide, left-hand side. It's over to Halliday though on the right. Halliday and acres of space. What's he going to do? He plays it out wide. Tries to get it back. This is Gilead. Flicks it into the area first time, but Grimsby have got plenty of men back, but the cross does come in the end. It's cleared away by Rogers. They're really under the cosh here, Grimsby Town, but they're defending manfully as well and keeping everything at bay from Bradford City, who've totally dominated from first whistle of this second half. They've forced 4 corners and one Grimsby player has had a yellow card. 63% possession Grimsby were on in the first half. I think that's changed dramatically and probably even more one-sided in this second half so far. As Bradford on the attack again, right-hand side, Boynton, cross, loops up, deflected. That's going to be corner number 5 of the second half, of which we've not had 10 minutes.
Mark Hughes must be delighted with the response, but Town are holding firm.
The question the Bradford City fans will be asking is, why didn't they start like this?
Yeah, there was a real lack of tempo first half, wasn't there? They just couldn't get going, but I think Town managed that with the possession, the way they handled the game themselves.
Well, what can they do now from this corner on the left-hand side? It's a deeper one. It's been taken, but it's going to have to be taken again because the referee has seen some pushing, shoving, some holding, etc., which is inevitable when there's the thick-headed 20-odd players inside the penalty area. You know that's going to be going on, don't you?
A bit of a worry because there was a Bradford City player on the deck and the ref sort of stopped play. I don't think there was too much in it.
I think Bradford would be quite pleased they got a second chance at this corner because it was a poor one from Jamie Walker. Another one like that and Richie Smallwood will be back on them again.
Keep swapping, keep doing bad ones. Well, settle for that as a Town fan.
Yeah, Walker, left-hand side with it. Not quite as deep this time. Headed away by Grimsby again. It's going to go out for a throw, or is it just kept in? No, it's kept in. It'll be swung in by Halliday. Right on the penalty spot. 2 Bradford players there, but with their backs to goal, couldn't get the shot in. And it's cleared away. But inevitably, Bradford pick it up once again with Richards. Dropping into the back line at times. Richards now in this second half. And ball is collected by Platt on halfway. And Grimsby can hardly get a touch at the moment. Bradford are keeping possession much better. They're playing it back to the goalkeeper now. And Mark Hughes trying to direct operations from the side and tells Harry Lewis where it should go. And it goes to Sam Stubbs. I did promise you I was going to recap on the Grimsby Town side. I will again. Eastwood, Malarkey, Rogers, Mayer, Amos, Conte, Ganoa, Holohan, Clifton, Issa and Rose, the goal scorer. Ball's gone out of play over on the far side. Grimsby fans there thought it was their throw, but it's not. And Smallwood plays it back into his own penalty area to Stubbs. Stubbs comes into the D. Walking pace. Jamie Walker just up ahead of him. Mark Hughes wants more pace injected again. Calling out to the players. Smallwood to Gilead. Stubbs once again. Chance if you don't know what you're doing are directed towards the referee, I think, for that throw-in still as Walker comes down the left-hand side. He's up to halfway. Stops just shy of it. Oh, plays it into the middle. He was looking for Smallwood. He's giving it away. And Grimsby could be in here. Rose, central position. Can he find a teammate? No, he couldn't pick out Abi Issa, but he has got a free kick. He was bundled over there, was Danny Rose. And I think if he'd taken the other option of going right, they would have been in, because it was a very, very slack ball from Jamie Walker.
Yeah, it was a good run. I think it was Holohan who sort of made this run on the right-hand side. Rose was going crossfield. I think Clifton was taken out, wasn't he, when he first intercepted the ball? He could have given a free kick there, but Rose chose the wrong option, gave the ball away. But looking for him, he got hit, and Town have got a free sort of hit here, haven't they? Because the attack was over.
Well, the shaving foam comes out and is a yard in front of the D, which tells you how far out it is. And it's pretty central as well. Dare they have a pop from distance?
I think it would. I think you're trying, not that I was ever able to do this, but a knuckle ball round the wall or something, make the keeper save something from it from this sort of distance.
I think balls travel faster in still air if we're going to start talking physics, especially with the heat.
Yeah.
But I think Ganoa might fancy his chance of a blaster. He's well, I'm not quite sure what he's done. I think he was expecting somebody to run onto that because there was no pace in him whatsoever. Left-footed, he floated it over and it just harmlessly went out.
Well, it was neither one nor the other, was it? I think he's tried to angle the ball from the centre to the right, hasn't he? But it's got to be floated then to give someone time to run onto it, and he's hit it with in between that and a shot, and it's just flown out of play. Everyone's standing around wondering what he was doing. I mean,
I think one of the keys to that kind of free kick is you need to inform your teammates what you're going to do as well, don't you? Because nobody there seemed to know what he was doing. Stubbs bundles over Rose, goes down again, doesn't get a free kick this time, and this is Richards for Bradford City down the left-hand side. Rogers is there, should be able to get it clear. Oh, he's skimmed it, and it's gone back to the goalkeeper. He can pick that up. You can't say that's a deliberate back pass because he aimed to hit it forward and it went back. And Jamie Walker closing down.
That's an absolute comedy, isn't it?
Oh dear!
Oh my word! Rogers sliced one, played out to Mari. He nearly gave the ball away. Back to the keeper, and he sliced out a hat trick of slices.
Sunday morning football live from Valley Parade on BBC Radio Humberside. It's still 1-0 to Grimsby Town. They got away with that. They got away with it 3 times, and Bradford City are back in possession. But Grimsby Town have stood up to them so far. Everything in this second half, of which there's been 5 corners, a couple of free kicks. Grimsby have had a couple of yellow card, 1 yellow card in this second half as well. Could have had 2. And the crowd are well behind the home side.
It's gone messy, but Town have stopped the flow at least a little bit.
Yeah, Bradford's turn to miss the ball there. Stubbs let it go behind him, but Richards collected it, and Stubbs has got it back now inside his own half. Right-footed, tries the long diagonal ball. It's well brought down by Poynton. Now what can Poynton do with it? Can he get a cross in? Couldn't first time around. Poynton again, just outside the area. The crowd shouts, shoot, and he does just that, but it's so far wide it's almost hit the corner flag. But he gets applause from all 3 sides of the City supporters and from some of his teammates as well as the youngsters. Only 19 years old, shooting towards the Kop end where he used to sit. Well, probably stand actually, because everybody does stand, don't they, when the team's doing well. But it was well wide.
He's been a different player out there, hasn't he? On that right-hand side, cutting in like that. He's giving Danny Amos a few problems. Danny's had a great game, but nice play by Poynton there. But when he came inside, you expected a curl. He hit it with the outside of his boot and it hit the corner flag in the end.
Bradford made 2 changes at half-time. I think it might not be too long before we see Paul Hurst possibly make a change, because they've been playing without the ball for so much of this second half and might just need some fresh legs out there. 60 minutes is often the time when you do make a change, but they are still winning. Let's not forget that. Even though they've been on the back foot for all of this second half so far, they still lead by a goal to nil. Danny Rose with it after 43 minutes. And Clapp heads the ball away. It's met by Rogers for Grimsby Town inside the centre circle. He takes a couple of paces forward and plays wide to the right-hand side for Malarkey. Malarkey forward and put out by Stubbs, and that's going to be another throw to the Mariners, just about level with the penalty area, and Malarkey will take this one as well. And that's the Grimsby fans in fine voice. I think they're all standing up over on the far side and in the upper tier behind that goal to our right-hand side as well. What was it, 1,704 that there are here? Crowd of about 20,000, thick-headed 20,000, I think. And Grimsby in possession. They've got to throw in again, this time put out a play by Walker, and again it'll be Malarkey who's going to take it. Right-hand side, slightly closer to the penalty area than the halfway line. Referee wants him to get on with it, and now he does. Throws it into the area. Danny Rose is up there. Keeper will come though and get to that one well ahead of Abo Issa, and he rolls it out on the ground for Halliday to come forward, and Issa's chasing to him. It's up over halfway and it's thumped forward. Too much on that. Poynton won't get to it. Thought for a split second it was going to be one of those that hits the corner flag and stays in, but it went out of play for the goal kick. Yes. Well, they've weathered the storm, I think it's fair to say, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they have. I expect Bradford to come again. They've livened up. They've got players in the right holes, in the right positions now to cause Town problems. But Town slowing the pace of the game down again, starting to dictate it, starting to have a little bit of possession again, getting together with the closing down, and it's much better, much more like the first half now.
Gilead, one of the half-time subs that Mark Hughes brought on, plays the ball forward, and Walker, who's now over on the right-hand side, has lost it, and Grimsby could be in here through Rose. Great challenge by Stubbs, kicks it clear but only as far as Abu Issa. Abu Issa surrounded by Claret and Amber. Halliday nicks the ball off him and finds Walker, who's grateful for that because it was his mistake that had led to the promising move for Grimsby Town, who still lead by a goal to nil. Bradford pen back inside their own half at the moment, but in possession, and Grimsby have won it back on the left-hand side. And it's bobbling around, it's like a hot potato. It is a very hot day, as pointed down the right-hand side, helped out by Gilead. And ball just fizzes from one side to the other. Pointed again on his debut, turns it forward, and Lewis Richards won't get to Tulloch won't get to that one, and goalkeeper holds it and smothers it, and is going to hold on to it for a few seconds as well. 1-0 Grimsby Town, still leading on BBC Radio Humberside. Second commentary of the day to come from 3 o'clock, and that is Scunthorpe United against Buxton from the National League North. I'm sure it's going to be as hot at Scunthorpe as it is here. It's hotter now than it was when the game kicked off at 12:30. There's virtually no cloud anywhere near the sun at the moment as Grimsby come forward. Abu Issa, can he get to it? No, he can't. He's quick, but he's not a greyhound. And it's a goal kick to Bradford City. Harry Lewis to take it from right in front of some of the Grimsby supporters who are in the upper tier of that little double-decker stand behind the goal to our right-hand side. The other Grimsby fans occupying the first 2 blocks on the far side, and the single-tier stand. The rest of Valley Parade is double-tier as it sweeps around from the Kop into this main stand with a capacity of around about 25,000 these days. Malarkey sends the ball down the right flank. Stubbs heads it away, almost ends up in the crowd from his momentum. Stops himself. The ball, though, is Grimsby's, and it's a throw in which Malarkey will take, and you can see the sweat dripping off the players' faces now. It is getting even hotter. Thrown forward towards Rose. He's ended up on the deck, and down the right-hand side comes Ganua. Plays it back towards Malarkey, and out of play for a throw-in, and Danny Rose, is looking at the referee, and I think the fans are applauding him for managing to get back to his feet and not need an ambulance.
Malarkey kicked it out, played, didn't think he was going to need treatment, and he got back up. I can't believe he's done it. Give Bradford the ball back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give it back. They don't need to, or are they? No, just thrown it over the head of Danny Rose, and it's gone to Halliday on the far side. Up ahead of him is Poynton, infield to Gilead, and nice little 1-2, and down the right-hand side comes the Bradford youngster. Tries to get it back to Gilead, and he does. Can he get the cross in? Yes, he can. Can't pick out Walker. It's cleared away, but only as far as Gilead once again, and then blocked and put out of play by Issa for a throw-in down by the left-hand corner flag. And here comes the first of the substitutions during the second half. It's a third change, though, in total for Bradford. And Matt Derbyshire is coming off. It was his first start since last season, and he's not really got into the game, has he? And in his place comes on for his debut on loan from Aston Villa. Be careful how you say this, Chisholm Afoka. I checked beforehand. I checked.
Very well said. And the fans were clapping the sub. The fact that he was being subbed or the sub itself.
I think they're giving him a welcome because he's making a debut, isn't he, on loan from Aston Villa.
Corner.
And we've got a corner. This is corner number 6. The first 5 came in the first 10 minutes of the second half. A certain symmetry there that Afoka wears number 37, which is Matt Derbyshire's age. He's replaced him. Corner then right-hand side, and it'll be Poynton to take it, left-footed. Down at the Cop end, Grimsby with everybody back, defending inside the area. It's a deep one. Richards wants another one. He is going to get another one. It took a touch off the Grimsby player on the way through. Corner number 7. And this one will be Jamie Walker, who's got it back off Richie Smallwood. Either that or Smallwood has just said, you have a go, mate, because I can't. In it comes, right-footed, headed away again by Grimsby. Hit by Halliday! That would have been goal of the season if that had gone in. It was a foot over the bar and into the Cop. But it got them behind the goal, out of their seats. You could see what he was trying to do. He just ran onto it, and it was an absolute screamer. And it's drinks break time.
Lovely connection. That was, they dropped nicely for Halliday. Danny Rose defending that. He's defended the last 2 or 3 corners, headed them away, getting up. He does ever so well in the air, both defensively and attacking. That one dropping perfectly. No one could get near him really to close that down, but probably a good 1.5 foot over. Town will be pleased to see that go over, but you worry actually, don't you, that if they do get that goal with the crowd behind him and everything, it really could sort of multiply the pressure on Town. And we've seen what happens when that pressure happens. I think it happened last year. I'm sure Town were in the lead last year, and it sort of happened again. They got the goal, and then all of a sudden and they had a really good first half, similar. And Bradford came through and eventually won, and it all happened at once, one after the other, one like that. And Bradford full of beans still, aren't they? Town not quite getting the grip on it, are they, in midfield? I think Bradford's closing down's been a lot better in that central area. Town not able to dominate and have time on the ball like they did in the first half. And fair play to Mark Hughes, he's made them changes. I think the biggest change, what's happened in their favour the most, is Poynter going onto that right-hand side. I think he's been excellent, hasn't he? He's played some lovely 1-2s, he's got his crosses in, he's played the people in for overlaps and forward runs and got his crosses in as well. It's made a real difference.
He doesn't look like a 19-year-old debutant, does he?
No, he looks full of confidence. And in situations like this, where, you know, other players who are experienced might be feeling the pressure, he's a young lad. Nothing's expected from him, is it? At that age, you can just go and enjoy yourself and have a bit of freedom. And he's coming into his own this second half.
And given he's a local lad as well, the crowd are going to, they've been watching him to start games after some impressive cameos as a sub. He's going to be getting that extra little bit of a honeymoon period, isn't he? Nobody's going to be getting on top of him. The players have had a drinks break. I just had a drinks break as well while you were talking, so you can have one now as well. And I'll tell you what we've got coming up later on this afternoon. We've got Scunthorpe United against Buxton from Glanford Park. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff in National League North. Football Forum after 5 o'clock. James will keep us up to date as well with Ukraine against England, unless you're one of those people who has the radio on and the telly sound turned off. Good drink, rehydrated.
Very nice. One colour could have been a yellowy colour with a froth on top. Would have been better.
Well, to be fair, I had a word with the lady in the media room here, and they were chilled when I got them because she kept them for us in the fridge. From the,
I noticed all the pies we got when I got down there. What I for there, Chris?
a little bit warm again now. We've got 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes for Grimsby to hold up, plus there will be stoppage time. There'll be quite a bit of that because we've had a few free kicks, corners, yellow card, substitution, and another drinks break. Ball has gone flying out of play for a Grimsby throw. But I think both managers, in a sense, will be pleased with this second half because Paul Hurst will have known that Mark Hughes was going to send them out all fired up, and that's exactly what they have done. They've dominated for the most part, but it's not as if the goal has been peppered with shots. Jake Eastwood hasn't had very much to do at all.
No, the 10 players have defended ever so well. He's got the head on stuff, and I think he's seen a bit of everything from his side, Paul Hurst, during this game. Bravery, tackling, discipline, and obviously the attacking play that they've had, the possession they've kept has been, you know, I don't want to call it too early, but so far he's got everything he wanted from his side.
Yep. Still just the one goal in it with 71.5 minutes on the clock. Ball is flicked forward to Ganoa. Ganoa edge of the area onto his left foot. Shoots, palmed away by the goalkeeper. If that had been 2-0, I'm sure that would have been it. Abu Issa tries his luck, and that's wide. And, well, that was a great strike, that, from Arthur Ganoa. And well seen as well by the goalkeeper, Harry Lewis. Turned away, and there was such force on it.
Very nice
shot.
save. Very nice save.
He got his hand on it,
yeah,
and it went out of the area, forward out in front of the penalty area.
Very strong arm to get that away there. I thought bad play by Stubbs, I think, allowing Nahura to come on his left-hand side. He must know he's left-footed now. He let him come all the way across. He kept touching a bit. Gareth Bale style. He got his shot off, and brilliant save by the keeper.
It's been one of those games, isn't it? We've had Sunday morning style football, we've had Gareth Bale style football, and we've had Glenn Hoddle style football. And Grimsby Town lead by 1-0 here against Bradford City, and the first change now being made for Grimsby, and it's Michel Fetty who's coming on. And
whether this could be a change of formation, maybe. I don't know who did he bring off there? Danny Amos, yeah. Well, what he's doing here, obviously, Danny's gone off, clearly either injured or struggling against Poynton, and he wants that threat nullifying. I think Danny Amos has had a bad game, but obviously the game's going on, and we didn't see much of Poynton first half. Probably conserved a load of energy, and now he's going at Danny Amos, who did put a lot into the first half, maybe getting tired, and he's got Michel Fette's pace now to deal with Poynton.
Yeah, I think as well that Paul Hurst will have been thinking that he's on a yellow card, isn't he? So doesn't want to risk anything at all with him being very much second best against Poynton. Meanwhile, Bradford continued to push forward, and Foka has got it to Smallwood. Smallwood infield for Gilead. Gilead, it's all very congested, all very tight just outside the Grimsby penalty area. Gilead once again to Foka. He curls it in over to the right-hand side, and trying to get to it is Walker, and he will do, but he can't do anything other than knock it out of play for a goal kick. And if you notice that Danny Amos, he did exactly the right thing when he came off. You have to come off at the closest point to where you are, so he made sure that he walked off right in front of the Grimsby fans so he could lap up the applause all the way down those two blocks.
Well, I don't blame him, he deserves it, you know, and he's contributed to a really good performance so far, one of his best games in that first half.
Well, I don't think there's an injury at all, because he's coming back to the dugout, and rather than going down to the changing rooms, we've got a quarter of an hour to go. Grimsby leading by 1-0. Poynton takes on his man, plays it into the middle, is looking there to try to get through to a Foka, and it's out of play for a throw to Bradford.
Even if Fette can't stop him at the moment, Fette send him onto his right-hand side, and he's still got the cross in.
Bradford with the throw, and it's come to Gilead inside the Grimsby half of the field. Squared over to the left-hand side for Stubbs. Further out wide towards Lewis Richards. Richards infield towards Walker. Seems to be everywhere at the moment. Foka again. Infield for Smallwood. Back to Stubbs. And then Platt. Platt to Stubbs. Stubbs just up over halfway. Walking pace again. Plays it back towards Richie Smallwood. Smallwood wide out to the right-hand side. And hoping there that Halliday could knock it forward. It's back again with Platt. Gilead to Stubbs. They can't make it over halfway at the moment. Now they will do. Smallwood with one of his high raking diagonal balls. Brought down by Halliday. Knocked out of play for a throw by Abo Issa. Bradford take it quickly. Gilead collects just outside the penalty area. Two Grimsby players around him. Release it short towards Poynton. Poynton to Walker. Walker flicks up inside the area. He felt he was being impeded. So too did the Cop. And he's got nothing other than a throw-in on the far side, as Grimsby again defend that quite well with 14 minutes to go. I'm looking at the clock, Everett. It's only gone on 45 seconds since I last looked at it, because they are holding on here at Grimsby Town. Looking for that first away win of the season. Only had 2 wins in the league so far, but 2 wins, 3 draws. Is it going to be 3 wins now, and a first away win, and a big away win this would be as well, as the ball is played back towards Lewis, and he's kicked it out of the ground. Now, years ago, balls used to regularly go out of the ground there, and there used to be a little man, when it was a tiny little stand, when you would have played along here, there was a tiny stand, there was a man who stood there and he looked to see where the balls had gone. This time you've got a stand which is like 30 rows back, and it's gone out of it. Are you parked down there as well?
I might be taking that one home, I think.
Throw-in is eventually taken, and Grimsby have got a free kick out of it as well.
You don't get many of them, Rose. It does go down a lot of the time, and the refs often get tired of seeing him on the ground, but he has been fouled a few times, and the refs saw one there, and it's a nice little rest period for town. They can line something up here and get some quality, and that last one was a waste. They've got to take these opportunities now. They can really seal the game with some quality here. They're sending in the big men.
And I'm surprised here that Bradford haven't left at least 1 or 2 players up, because that would force Grimsby to leave 1 or 2 back. But Bradford City have got every single body back inside the area, apart from Poynton, who's just a yard outside of it. Now Jamie Walker has just stepped over the line, but free kick on the left-hand side, which It's going to be taken by Ganoa, left-footed, in it comes, easily headed away there by Afoka, but it's going to come straight back into the area, and it's chested down towards the goalkeeper Harry Lewis, and it's easily dealt with. So Richie Smallwood, he gets the ball from the keeper, plays it up towards halfway for Afoka now, and wriggles around. Just Tulloch. Malarkey gets it back there for Grimsby. Back towards Kamil Conte, who's not been as influential in this second half as he was in the first half for Grimsby, because they've not had the ball nearly as much. Stubbs is going chasing, and that ball's gone out of play for a Bradford throw down by their own left-hand corner flag. And I think there's a bit of movement on the Bradford City bench. They've only used 3 subs so far. And there's also going to be a change, I think, for Grimsby. And Abo Issa is coming off.
It's an interesting one. We'll stick Pike out there or move things around. Looks like Nahura's going over there onto the left.
So Pike comes on. And a bit of water being splashed around, and Abo Issa getting a generous reception actually from a lot of the Bradford fans as he goes off as well. 2 years here, largely hindered by injury. Only scored 2 goals during his 2 years here. Wasn't offered a new contract. Fresh start given to him by Paul Hurst. He's got 4 goals already this season. I thought at times in the first half maybe he was just trying that little bit too much to impress, which is it's often something you see, isn't it, when a player goes back to his former club. This is Holohan, rolls it out wide for Ganoa. Back infield it comes to Holohan again. Bradford though with a strong challenge from Halliday gets it back and he flicks it forward. It's going to be Grimsby's ball if it stays in play, and it does. And it's played back and all the way back to the goalkeeper Jake Eastwood. Suddenly Gary Croft, there's only 10 minutes remaining on BBC Radio Humberside, plus how much stoppage time is going to be added on. And I would guess that we're going to be on for at least 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some tired legs out there now. You can see him now struggling a little bit. Through the runs, looking a little bit laboured.
Walker, Gilead. Pushes it forward towards Poynton, who's come to a more central position at the moment. Out wide to the left-hand side for Richards. Back to Stubbs. Bradford have won both their home games so far this season. They've beaten Colchester and Crewe here. They came from behind to beat Colchester, but against Crewe they beat them as well. And Grimsby's signing from Crewe, Callum Ainley, is on the bench today. He'll be itching to come on. Last couple of minutes, if you're 1-0 up away from home, everybody wants to come on, don't they? Smallwood hits it long now down the left-hand side, and Lewis Richards goes after it, but he can't keep it in play. It's a throw into Grimsby, somewhere inside the Bradford City half. Wherever the linesman decides that's going to be from, I think probably about level with the edge of the penalty area, and Malarkey will be the one to take it. Bradford are about to make a change, judging by the fact that instructions or the sheet of paper has just been given to the 4th official. So we'll wait to see who it is who's going to be coming on. Jonathan Tompkinson could be the one. Signed on loan from Norwich this week. This is Platt. It's getting desperate times now for Bradford. Sends it long. Poynton gets underneath it, gets the throw-in out of it as well. Put out of play by Affetti. And it's going to be Halliday who will take the throw on the far sides. Inside the final 9 minutes now. First time in a generation, possibly, that Grimsby Town have beaten Bradford City, home or away. 18 games they've not managed to beat them in the last 18 games. One of the longest runs between two sides which have played each other on a fairly regular-ish basis. It's not sort of like a Manchester United against Gillingham type thing or anything like that. And Danny Rose is after the ball on the left-hand side, and he's got to it as well ahead of Stubbs. Stubbs recovers though and gets in front of him and shields it away. He's done well there as Stubbs, and puts it behind. I bet he's had a good grounding from his old man as they're playing football in the back garden. Your dad's been in the Premier League centre-half. You're going to pick up something, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
What does Paul Hurst do now then? Well, Bradford are making another change, and Osadebe is coming on.
Depends
Walker is the one who's coming off.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends what Bradford do now. If they're going to push some big men up front, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Luke Waterfall come on and drop into the centre halves there, and he sacrifices maybe one of his wide men just to firm that up. But they're not knocking it directly, are they? They're still working their way through the middle at the moment. But as time goes on, I think he'll go longer and longer.
Kick out from Harry Lewis up over halfway. And he's aimed there for Osadebe, and he's immediately won a free kick, which he's going to leave for Richie Smallwood to take. 10 yards outside the centre circle. Left-hand side, inside the Grimsby half. Plays it quickly. Lewis Richards has it, sends it into the middle. Cleared away by Grimsby once more, and they can break as well down the right-hand side. Now here's Pike. Pike came on a few minutes ago, stopped in his tracks though by Stubbs. Throw into Grimsby. Amos will take it. Malarkey will take it. Right-hand side. 7 minutes to go. I keep looking across and can see these Grimsby fans, they're flicking their wrists to see how much time there is to go, because a lot of them won't actually be able to see the scoreboard from their position, because the scoreboard is in the corner in between the two sections of the Grimsby fans. 1,700 of them here at Valley Parade this afternoon. Stubbs has gone down just on the edge of his own penalty area. Danny Rose is inquiring after his health.
That's all extra seconds for Town. Just tick off the clock.
It'll get added on though in this day and age, won't it?
Another sub.
Right, here we go. Here's Tompkinson coming on for Bradford, for another debutant coming on. Jonathan Tompkinson signed on loan from Norwich. Now, Danny Rose will know about him because they would have played together at Stevenage together last season. He's a wide player, as Tompkinson. They do say don't make a substitution when you're defending an attacking throw-in or free kick. And that's exactly what Bradford have done. Malarkey with the throw. It's into the area and it's away by Platt up towards the halfway line, and Affetti hits it all the way back to the goalkeeper. Oh, a bit of fizz on that, wasn't there?
Well, Tompkinson's dropped into centre half.
For a split second, yeah. He has dropped in there, and the ball has gone into the Bradford area, and trying to bring it away, trying to bring it out of trouble is Gilead. Nicely done with Platt. And Platt finds Smallwood under pressure just inside his own area, and very coolly done there. Grimsby have got a player down injured at the moment on this near side. The play continues. This is Pike. We're in the final 5 minutes, and surging run forward from Afoka. He ends up on the deck though, and nothing is given. Danny Rose, the ball's hit him on the back. It's bounced kindly for him then though, because the defender has slipped. Rose inside the area, bundled over Gilead. Referee says no. Come back again to Grimsby. They get their first corner of the game with 5.5 minutes to go.
Well, there's all sorts going on there. The ball got played through to Danny Rose, hit him on the back, and as he came back, the defender looked favourite but fell over. Rose found himself through on goal again. It looked like he got bundled over, but he kind of threw himself to the floor again, and I think the ref's seen that too many times to give him a penalty. But Pike came through, won the corner. It's another chance to just settle down and see out a few more seconds.
Well, score now and it's surely all over. Arthur Ganoa with the corner, and then on the right-hand side, right down by the tunnel, left-footed, the fish chant comes out. In comes the corner, deep. There'll be another one. That's headed behind by Bradford City. Grimsby ending the second half just as Bradford City started it, with a succession of corners. And Ganoa makes his way from one side of the field over to the other to go to take the corner. Left-hand side, this one. Again, Bradford leave no one up at all. So if the ball is cleared, it's just going to come straight back towards them, and they need a goal, and they've got very little time in which to get it. Fish again. Ganoa with the corner, headed away by Richards. Bradford have got it. They can break from inside their own area, but how quick are they to break? Not very quick. The ball has gone past one Grimsby player, and it's come hurtling into the upper tier of the stand that we're in. I thought for a minute it was going to be you or I that was going to get it. And it's bounced down now off the roof of the Bradford City dugout, and a throw into City, which will be taken by Richards. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. I think we're going to be looking at 7, maybe even 8 minutes because of the number of substitutions, some stoppages, and a water break. But we shall see. This is the substitute who just came on a few minutes ago, Osadebe, for Bradford City, playing the ball out wide to Poynton, whose name was just being sung. He's one of our own. That's what the crowd was singing. Now, what can they do as they send it in from the right-hand side with Halliday? It's on the edge of the 6-yard box, hacked away by Pike, back helping out the defence. Flicked forward over the head, and Danny Rose has got there. Has he got some support? He has down the right-hand side now from Pike. What's he going to do? I think it's too early to start holding it up in the corner. He's played it back towards Toby Malaki. Malaki into the area, and again, you know who it is. He's ended up on the deck inside the penalty area, and the referee says no. That time it was Matty Platt. Away. Did you think that one was?
No, absolutely not. He just came behind him, didn't he? And he didn't control, didn't get hold of it, and just desperately kind of threw himself to the floor. It was Harry Clifton that time, getting in the box. His energy's been unreal. We haven't had name mentioned too many times, but his energy's been great.
This is Richards, left-hand side. Paul Hurst urging Danny Rose to get up because he just slipped over then. Richards plays it forward. This is Gilead. Gilead looks at Poynton wide, right-hand side, edge of the penalty area. Can he get a cross in? Is he going to go for goal himself? Onto the left foot. Tries to pull it back. Does pull it back to Gilead to shoot. Equaliser. 1-1. Bradford City 1. Grimsby Town 1. Alex Gilead getting onto the end of the ball from the home City debutant. It's 1-1. It's surely heartbreak for Grimsby Town, who since history was about to be made, they scored at the very end of the first half, and now Bradford City have scored at the very end of the second half. Bradford City 1, Grimsby Town 1.
Well, it's not over yet either, is it? You know, we've still got a good 5 or 10 minutes to go, and Bradford have got that goal now. We'll see. I think we'll see them fly out for the second one. Really unlucky for Town, though. They got stretched on the far side. They got the ball out to the main man, this Al Poynton, and he worked it. He didn't just release it. Richarley just kept hold of it, couldn't work his cross, and instead of just sticking it in, he laid it back to Gilead. Gilead kind of let it come across onto his body, onto his left, to wrong foot the defender, took it back out of his body into his right-hand side, created the angle, and he found the bottom corner, opposite bottom corner. Really, really good strike, and you have to say, a very good goal.
Eastwood had no chance with that whatsoever. Well, Grimsby certainly were deserved leaders at half-time, and maybe after the way Bradford have played for most of the second half, a draw is going to be the right result, but there's still going to be time. We're about to find out how much time there is to be added on, and we're up to 90 minutes.
I think Mark Hughes will be thinking, don't get beat.
Here we go. What are we on? 6. That's a surprise. I thought there might have been 7 or 8, because there was a bit of time then after that goal celebration as well, wasn't there? There's still time for a winner for either side, and Bradford City are going chasing it, and they've got some momentum now after scoring that goal late on. This is Afoko, one of the substitutes, one of the debutants. Flicks it out to Lewis Richards, left-hand side. Back in field to Richie Smallwood. Smallwood forward, looking for Osadebe. Osadebe inside the area, couldn't get to it. Ends up in the stand almost, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Clever ball by Smallwood, wasn't it? Just lofted over the top and allowed Osadebe to get round the back of Rogers, but Rogers marshalled him really well actually to get out. But you just think if someone goes down there, it's very well. He's got man of the match, hasn't he? Pointed. Yeah. There you go. He's been magnificent in the second half for Bradford. Been the main reason they've come back into the game. Why they played him out on this side in the first half, if he can do that out there, I don't know, but.
Well, he has had an outstanding game. I've mentioned a couple of times that the locals have been calling for him to be starting a game, and he's fully justified that today. He's shown a maturity certainly way above his 19 years, and I bet he was as nervous as hell last night, having been told he was going to be making his debut and then playing, in front of his mates, in front of his family. He's only 19 years old, and they've got a hero, because he's played an absolute blinder for Bradford this afternoon, and instrumental in the equalising goal scored by Alex Gilead. We're in 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Mahar's gone for the long throw here.
Yeah, long throw from Maher, from down by the right-hand corner flag, easily taken by the goalkeeper, Harry Lewis. It's going to be like basketball now, isn't it, for the next few minutes? One end to the other end, surely. Michel Fetty, who came on as a sub, heads the ball out of play over the head of Paul Hurst, who's looking a little bit glum. Mark Hughes is looking very animated, more animated than he has all game. He's going to be thinking there's something in this. He wants them to get on with it. He's kicking an imaginary ball, and Lewis Richards has a throw midway inside the Grimsby half, takes it short, gets it back. Grimsby with nearly everybody back behind the ball, and Sadebe dispossessed by Conte. Grimsby's turn to attack again down the left-hand side, and Ganoa, who's got options, flicks it forward. He's going to come back again to Afete, who's playing at left back. He came on a few moments ago, replacing Danny Amos. Forward it goes now for Pike. Pike, another of the subs, well challenged, well dispossessed by Richards. And Richards forward to Afoka down the left-hand side. He's got 3 Grimsby defenders within sight of him. He's got no support at all. Now the cavalry is arriving. He goes down inside the area, and the referee says that's a free kick and a yellow card for a dive. And then one of the Grimsby players has just slapped him on the back of the head for that as well. I think they say, well tried, but...
Well, I'll tell you what, my heart was in my mouth.
I thought
no way he's gone for that. It was a terrible dive, wasn't it? He had 3 men on him, he was going nowhere, and he threw himself down. But when the ref blew, wow, that was scary.
Yeah, you think, don't you? You think.
No replays, so there's no, VAR, nothing. You think that's it?
No.
Tam would not have deserved that.
2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Some shirt tugging going on there between 2 of the substitutes. Pike and Tompkinson. It's out of play for a throw-in.
Can't believe the linesman doesn't give that. Pike's pulling his shirts all over. He doesn't give it, but Mar's got another chance to throw this one on.
Yep. Swap shirts after the game's lad. Leave it until then. Mar then with a throw. Bradford with everybody back apart from Afoka. Well, he's inside his own half. Throw 10 yards from the right-hand corner flag. In it comes. It's headed away. How far, though? Comes out for a strike on goal and deflected away, was it? Well, if it was deflected, it was deflected off a Grimsby player. But it was a decent strike chance from the edge of the area.
Great chance. He dropped to Holohan. Holohan right-footed, comes onto it on his left. He can hit him with his left, but got that one all wrong, drilled it into the ground and dragged it wide.
Unbelievably, some people are leaving. We've got 2 minutes to go. There might be more than that. But we're in the last 2 minutes of the scheduled minimum stoppage time, and Grimsby have got a free kick. Mark Hughes can't believe it. Head in hands.
Focker's just jumped into Rogers there. Wasn't looking at the ball. And I suppose Grimsby don't have to stick or twist it in a way. A point's a good point at Bradford, isn't it? But
it is. But at half-time, you would have said that a point is going to feel like a defeat, isn't it? Had the second half carried on in the same vein as the first half, but I think over the course of the 90 minutes that Paul Hurst secretly, or maybe even publicly, will admit that a point is a good result and probably a fair result. Because it's not as if either goalkeeper has been peppered this afternoon, and it was a brilliant strike from Gilead to equalise. But another long throw. We're in the 6th of 6 minutes of stoppage time. From Mayer, in it comes, edge of the 6-yard box, knocked down. There's some pushing, there's some shoving, there's another deflection out to the right-hand side for Mayer, and he struck it over the bar. Oof.
Somewhere between cross and shot from Mar, came back to him on the right-hand side. I feel like he probably felt like he had to take on his side foot because it wouldn't drop. Players were running at him, and he side puts it more like a cross when he should have put his laces through it, and he could have hit anyone or anything and gone in, but just swerves it over the bar.
If it had gone in, he would have said it was a shot. Right, well, we're now into the very, very final knockings because we are now up to and we are now over stoppage time, within stoppage time. But the referee showing no signs of even looking at the watch as the ball pings up over halfway, and there it goes, and there is the full-time whistle, and it's finished. Bradford City 1, Grimsby Town 1. So the run goes on to 19 games now since Grimsby Town last beat Bradford City. For so long, it looked so likely that they would do it. It took them 43 minutes to make the breakthrough. Danny Rose with a simple header from a delightful move from that cross-in from Malaki. But then a screamer of a goal from Alex Gilead in the 89th minute, set up by man of the match, 19-year-old local debutant Bobby Poynton, I think, gives Bradford a deserved point. Grimsby will feel that they could have won it, they should have won it. Bradford will think, well, the first 10 minutes of the second half, they had all those chances, all those corners as well. But I think in the end, a point apiece is a fair result. Bradford failing to win at home for the first time this season. Grimsby still can't win on the road, but they will maintain their position ahead of Bradford City in the table. And who knows, come April, come May, this point could prove to be very, very important, Gary Croft.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you can say about that, I feel absolutely breathless. I feel thoroughly entertained in both respects. I've seen an impressive Grimsby dominate at half. I've seen a resilient Bradford come back second half and probably just about get what they deserve. As a Town fan, obviously, you're disappointed because Town gave everything they got. Everything they got defensively, everything they did tactfully in the first half. I thought they got it absolutely right. They nearly did enough to keep Bradford at bay, but a little bit of magic over on that left-hand side, Poynton in front of his home fans, in front of his hometown, has made the difference. A real steady head for a young lad, made the difference for Gilead, created the space for him to finish. But I think Town should be proud of that. It's a very good performance. They'll come to places and play worse than what they have today and get the points, but fair play to Mark Hughes, his managerial experience and his motivational skills to drag Bradford from that poor first half to that excellent second half. You have to say well done to them, and they deserve a point. I think everyone's going home from Bradford reasonably happy with a point, which tells you something about the way Town have played. Town and Paul Hurst will be thoroughly disappointed not to get that 3 points, but like you said, it might be a very good point coming into the season.
Indeed so. We'll have reaction a little bit later on this afternoon from Paul Hurst on BBC Radio Humberside. We do have a second commentary coming up. That's from 3 o'clock. That's Scunthorpe United against Buxton. But for 20 minutes in the first half, 15 minutes maybe, it became a little bit of a slugfest, didn't it? And it was awful to watch for a while. Maybe the heat was playing its part then. But the way Grimsby had played in the first, I think, 25 minutes, and then the way that Bradford played in the first 25 minutes of the second half, this has been a game to remember for the right reasons in the end. For Bradford, well, for youngster Bobby Poynton, certainly a star is born. For Grimsby, well, the wait goes on. It's now at 19 games, so it's a generation since they beat Bradford City. They will get a chance at Blundell Park later on the season. But James, in the sunshine from the Costa del Valley Parade, it has finished Bradford City 1, Grimsby Town 1.
Feels a little too warm to visit Bradford's Curry Mile this afternoon. Gary Croft.